Okay, I assume you've read the title. I'm a bit confused on why people keep pretending like the neighbor from Hello Neighbor is even remotely a good person or misunderstood. Let me catch you up on lore a little bit. Warning, this is extremely dumbed down and made as kind of just quick and precise. No, not very precise, but quick as it can be. This is Theodore Peterson, aka the neighbor. He has 2 kids, Aaron and Maya, fuck what I know, and a wife named Diana. Her name isn't really that important because in the first few minutes we learn about her, she dies immediately in a car crash. After that, Aaron and Maya is, they're a little bit fucked up. They're his children though. And, it turns into Aaron basically just accidentally pushing Maya off the fucking roof. No idea how you managed to fuck up this bad, but, okay. After all this is said and done, the neighbor locks his son in a basement and buries Maya just in his yard. This is where goat Nikki, aka the main character of Hello Neighbor 1, who hears the neighbor shutting a fucking child in his basement. So Nikki does the obvious thing. Call the cops? No, God no. Call CPS? What are you, fucking stupid? Obviously they try and break in. Anyways, long story short, we find his son in the basement. Nikki and Aaron, I guess, just talk for a while. Then a while later, Hello Neighbor 2 comes out. The main character gets a bunch of paper planes saying help me, blah 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 blah. Main character frees Aaron and Redis is free. Peterson gets hit by a giant crow statue which makes him get stuck, and Aaron, I don't know, using his, brain that he definitely has. Redis, we get knocked out. Instead of helping us, saving the person who just saved him, he helps the neighbor, his father. That's where Hello Neighbor 2 ends. Hello Neighbor 3 isn't out yet. I don't know, maybe we get Hello Neighbor 3, but Aaron is actually the main villain now? Okay, if you look at it, surface level, tip of the iceberg, just think, well, Aaron cares a lot about his last remaining family. And I get that. But he also clearly wants to be free. As shown in the intro for Hello Neighbor 2, being that he's sending you fucking paper airplanes saying, help me. So this small kid who's trapped inside a home for God knows how long, inside a fucking basement, or in this case, it's a attic, I don't remember, I don't know, I don't care, decides to try and save his kidnapper, and I'm sorry, that's just stupid. My only way of thinking of a reasonable excuse is that in the time it took us to go ahead and save him, he grew fucking Stockholm Syndrome towards his own father, because, I'm sorry, he's like 13, but I don't know, something like that. Reading the wiki, it tells us the neighbor still cared for Aaron, despite kidnapping him. He fed him, loved him, and cared for him. But he's still a kidnapper. Like, objectively speaking, he kidnapped his own child, hid the death of his own daughter, which in return made it that she didn't have like a proper burial, which, sure, that might not be a big case for the Petersons, but like, I don't know, for some people it might be. I'm not getting to the fact that if the neighbor wasn't a flawed and bad person, then he wouldn't kidnap a second fucking child. So he kidnapped 2 kids, basically denied the proper burial of his daughter, didn't punish his own son hard enough, probably traumatized the kid, and genuinely fucked up the rest of his entire life. Not just, the neighbor's life, probably Quentin's life, and most likely, logically speaking, Aaron's life was super fucked up at this point. You might be asking, what the fuck do you mean by didn't punish hard enough but also said traumatized him? Considering the fact that Aaron killed his own sister, he's probably already got trauma. But then he basically got kidnapped by his own dad for 2 years or whatever, instead of, doing the logical thing and just giving him to CPS. Also, what is Peterson just doing, having an open fucking roof like that? Look, I know he's sad about his wife dying, he's really upset, so mad. Doesn't mean you can just neglect your kids like this. I know you still gave them food and all of that, but like, please, why do you have an open roof? Just at least safety lock. Like, this implies that most likely the roof didn't have a lock before, I guess. Not imply, but I guess it just didn't have a lock before this. So, in the, 11 years they had children, Neither the wife or the husband decided, you know, guess we'll just put a lock here. No, instead they just decided to be like, I'm gonna just like leave the roof open wide, so in case they wanna kill each other, go ahead. Look, the last part of this, or almost the last part, I assume most people aren't sympathetic for the neighbor, but for Fyodor, which would make more sense, same way as some people feel bad for John, but not Homelander. The problem is that some people go ahead and say, he always kicked you out, never killed you. Yeah. So what? He didn't commit a fucking felony? That's your basis for saying this guy is innocent, or not innocent, but a decent person, after kidnapping his own child for God knows how long. And I mean, sure, he never killed you, but he kidnapped you for 2 months, so I'm not very certain what point you're trying to make over here. Fyodor himself also has some flaws, of course, until his wife's death. He's kind of a good person, a good father, and that, but like, we don't know that. At least I didn't do research on that. After the death of his child and wife, he does spiral. Obviously, I get that, but like, you know, this might be a little bit of an extreme. I'd say he becomes the neighbor after he does spiral, after the death of his wife and kid, and after he fucking kidnaps a child. That's when he becomes the neighbor of Hello Neighbor. I wanna point out the last fact being that, you know, the neighbor is like a fucking cult. I don't know what the crow thing is about. Please like and subscribe, guys. I need it. I need it. Please. Also, criticize whatever you want, guys. I don't know. I don't care. I don't.